Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today I have a top 8 breakdown for the Carta Magica event that they ran at the Canadian National Exhibition this past weekend. So this was an unofficial event, but Carta Magica is an official TO for the game, and they do run some really solid Digimon events. So I want to go over this one. It was 128 players, which was really fun, and we do see this top 8 that we see here. And also, if you guys are a fan of unofficial tournaments, I am running one of my own tomorrow as of this video dropping. So it's an online BT13 tournament, so it's for a box of BT13 for first place. We also have some TP prizing from Zulus as well, so really fun events. I've been running these pretty consistently the last couple months, so and we're almost at 16 players as is, so it will double the amount of TP prizing for that as well. So make sure to check it out. Links in the description if you guys are interested, and hope to see you guys there. But going on into this event too, we did have this top 8 of 2 ShineGreys, 2 Hunters, 1 BWG, a Royal Knights, a Black War Grey OTK, and an Alphamon as well. And as far as I know, they just ended with the same record, so we kind of have like this top 4 all with a 501 record. And I'm not sure exactly when the ties happen, so I don't think they split. There is a possibility that they all were at tables 1 and 2, like just split top 4, but I don't know specifically for it. So if you know more, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and we're just gonna kind of jump from there. But we're gonna look at all of the topping lists, and we're gonna start off with the first place version of Wayne and Chiu. And I just used air quotes because again they're all just the same record, top 4. But looking at this list, we have been seeing kind of a bit of a drop off from BLZX. I think that a lot of people are like, oh, Alphamon's really cool. It's the new kind of purple OTK deck, and I wouldn't say like maybe BLZX is always OTK. There is a lot of times where you can do that with just the power of BLZX antibody and then going into blast mode, but I do think the deck in general is very, very strong still. The amount of recursion that you get, the amount of consistency you can get, I think is great. And you do have a lot of options against a lot of decks that you can find are moderately searchable, which is really nice. So I don't have much more to say than that. I do think this is still a good deck for if anyone's trying to get into the game. Very easy to build. Just get 2-star decks and a couple extra cards from there, and really popular there. So congratulations to Wayne for their finish there. And then next up we have Michael with their second place Royal Knights. And this is obviously one of my favorite decks from this format. It is a little bit expensive. I do think we're seeing a little bit more of the deck since more people can be on it, and the prices for some of these cards are going down a little bit. So obviously Omnimon is one of the the one you have to be running for this deck, which I think is a little rough because it is a secret rare for it. But I also do like the Gallantmon for this one. I do think it's a card that gets a lot of value, and even like after you pop your Drizzle, you can play it for moderately cheap and can sometimes rush with it. So I do like adding this card. I think 4 is too much, so I think 2 or 3 is usually what a lot of people are seeing, and it's a good call. So honestly, the only thing I don't like about this deck is that it does get walled by Psychomon pretty easy. Marcus is there to help you with that, as well as the Porcupamon. But if you don't see this because we don't have a lot of cycle, you are in a bit of a rough spot. But I do like you can roll nice to the perch, put something underneath there, and then if you have an effect that helps you pop a card from not a when attacking. So for example, technically all 4s can bounce it back to hand. You can also have the effect of like if you play like Dynasmon out, and then you I guess have to play like a Magdamon or something, but you can pop all level 4s or lower. There's also Examon. I actually kind of like the EX the EX3 one a little bit more for this deck, since you can do like an attack, since suspend something you want to attack over and then have a 15k with that. So I do like that little combo with it, but there's that. There's also Leopardmon, I think is the most important one for this. It does help you get further reductions and can get your Omnimon out a little bit sooner, and I do like that. Kantarismon I like, especially since you can put these cards into your life, which is cool, and just kind of everything else. So really like the list, really like the deck as well, and congratulations to Michael for their finish in this one. Next up we have Alec with their top 4 Black War Grey OTK. So this is a bit of a uniquer deck. I haven't been seeing it as often, but it does pop up every once in a while. And so kind of like the main idea is that you just want to kind of swing with this guy as many times as you can. It has a Digiburst for 2 to trash 2 of your Devolution cards to unsuspend it. So kind of some ways and some combos you get to do with it. So we do see like we are playing like the Agumon low end, and also like if you your opponent doesn't kind of know, like you can kind of smoke screen this deck as something else because these are just generically good rookies that a lot of other decks use. And you use these red and yellow Agumon specifically for the Chimeramon because you're able to use it to gain the color yellow, which means this gets a little bit stronger, but also you can use Blinding Ray with it too, which means that you can get that extra memory if we're trying to go for the OTK turn. But then you go up your Greymons. You also have 1 copy of the Security Attack +1 Greymon, and then from there you can just go into your Chimeramon. If you have 2 different stacks, go into the Blackboard Gray if you have enough memory for everything, and just kind of do your multiple swings, which is really strong. So we're also running a Lightning Joust. So main, one of your Digimon gains +2k for the turn, and then also then if the number of cards in your security stack is less than your opponent's, something gets Security Attack +1 for the turn, and it's blanket for the turn. So once your opponent has less security than you, it doesn't go away, which is really nice. So what you do is you go down to 1 or 2 life. You play a bunch of your Gravity Crushes and Blinding Rays to get up to where you need to, get into your Blackboard Gray, and then use the Lightning Joust from there. Actually, you probably use Lightning Joust when you're Chimeramon, and then you Blackboard Gray afterwards. So that's kind of the idea. Cool Boy to help you just get some card draw and potentially some extra memory if needed to, just by digivolving on top of your level 4s for free, and then you get the memory back, which is nice, and just more cycle too, since everything's not everything, but there's a good amount of X antibody cards for it. So unique build, and congratulations to Alex for their finish there. Next up we have Steven with their top 8 Alphamon. Actually, did we miss one? Yeah, we missed out on one of the 100 lists because it wasn't available. We'll talk about the other one. But we have Steven's top 4 Alphamon, and this deck's been pretty consistent since the release of BT13 of being in some tops. I wouldn't say it's been dominating, but I think we usually see about one in every about top 16 or so. It's pretty generic to the fact of it's just kind of like the old Alphamon. The fact that we just have another Duro Gray is fantastic for us, and just completes the missing piece for what we're needing. We could just have like a vanilla named Duro Gray, but this is actually pretty strong for what it is. Being able to put some cards on the, it's a top 3 off deck, so it's not the best for consistency, but you can tuck something underneath from the top of your deck, which is really good. You don't get DP reduced either, and also end of turn, once per turn, you can place 1 Digimon with X antibody from your hand underneath this as a spotted evolution cards as an inheritable, which is really great. So sometimes you can even tuck Dorumon, which then will get memory from seeing itself being tucked, and then you get to keep it your turn, which is kind of neat. So other than that, Alphamon's been really strong, very consistent, and the deck itself, it has a really all the support you really need, and so it's really cool to see it kind of pop up again. So there's the Stevens list. Congratulations there. Next up, we have Justin's top 8 ShineGrey. I don't have a lot to say about this guy because it's ShineGrey has been consistently pretty solid for what it is, and there's not a lot of variation for cards you run. They've pretty much over the last 3 sets printed all the cards that the deck needs in general, with just a few exceptions of tech choices, but this deck is obviously very good. It is there are some issues with it being consistent sometimes, but I don't think enough for it to not be there, especially if there's a lot of people in the room playing the deck as well. So it's interesting to see only 3 of these Geo Greymon. This is definitely the one I feel like is the strongest because it does get that recursion with your tamers, but also can just play one out of your security for no cost. It does have to be there, but it's not, with eight of them, it's not too unlikely for the top 5 to have at least 1 tamer in it. So and it's kind of like a search of a tamer. In worst case, you get to see your security and see what's in there. But I do think this is very good. There's also the one of the ruin mode, which is definitely a tech option too. Not everyone's been running this one, but it is kind of more control-y in the sense that it can reset your opponent as well. Because it has 1 Digivolving on deletion till the end of your opponent's turn. All of your opponent's Digimon gets -5k. And then at end of attack, delete this Digimon and 1 of your opponent's Digimon, and you get to recover 1. So, and then you get to hatch an egg. But the fact that, if you are able to Digivolve and do the on deletion on the same turn, which isn't too terribly hard to do, especially if you already have the ShineGrey out, and then you play, you have your Marcus out and you attack with it, you can Digivolve for free. And then that just means that everything has a blanket 10k out in the battle area, which means if they try to play something or push something out from raising, if it doesn't have a base of 10k more than 10k, then just gets immediately deleted. So it kind of just prevents your opponent from playing anything for a turn, which is nice. So anyways, this is their list. Congratulations to Justin for their finish there. And to wrap it up, we do have Ramathan's top 8 hunters. So 2 hunters in this list. This is the top 8 one that went 5-1, but don't want to overgeneralize, but a lot of these hunter lists do look very similar. You do have some choices on ratios for mostly tamers. Tamers are a big thing. So honestly, running 4 Watchmaker is really interesting. Usually I see like a 4 of either the Taiki or the Taguru, and then just kind of 3 of everything else. So we do have that, but we also have like the overflowing power to get this, the extension for you, as well as the core spawn, which I do think a lot of decks still get kind of walled out from this card potentially. So I think it's solid for it. But generally, just then run all the Alphamon, or it's not the Huntress cards with pretty good ratios of 4s of the important ones, 3 of Clockmons, and then a couple of your level 5s. So not much more to say. I think Hunters is still very, very good in this format, and people still playing it before Ultimate Cup comes again next month and just makes it so you can't play it at all. So this is their list there, and congratulations. And that, again, is going to be my breakdown for this event. So hope you guys appreciate it. Thank you again for Carta Magica for running this event as well. And again, if you guys are interested in playing tomorrow online, make sure to check out my event as well. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.